Okay, I think we'll keep admitting folks, but welcome everyone. My name is Narmala Singh, one of the founding board members of South Queens Women's March. And first, I just want to thank you all so much for joining us tonight. As you know, April is Financial Literacy Awareness Month, and tonight is the first of many of our workshops covering this topic, which is Personal Finance 101. It's so wonderful to see so many familiar faces, but for folks that are joining us for the first time, welcome to South Queens Women's March. Just a really quick overview of our organization. So we were founded a little over a year ago during the height of the pandemic, and we are a multi-generational, intersectional organization working to eradicate gender-based violence here in South Queens and really foster empowerment between women and gender nonconforming folks here in the South Queens community. So as you all know, economic empowerment is a key part of our mission in eradicating GBV, and we're really hoping this workshop will give folks kind of the basic tools that they need to kind of becoming a little bit more financially independent. And tonight, as we advertise on the flyer, we're going to be talking a little bit about the basics of credit repair, savings, budgeting, and so many other different topics. But before I hand it over to Nicole, who's our facilitator for tonight, I just want to thank our co-sponsors, KPMG and Delta Sigma Pi, for helping to make this event possible tonight. And just wanted to put a disclaimer that we are live on Facebook for folks that are unable to join via Zoom, and we're also recording for people who are unable to join at this time. So this free resource will continue to live on our YouTube channel as well as our website, and you can always reference it whenever you'd like. But now I'm going to turn it over to Nicole Cobham, who is one of our fabulous members and will be our facilitator for tonight. Thank you all so much again for joining.
Thank you, Nirmala. Thank you everyone again for joining us this evening to kick off Financial Literacy Awareness Month. So before we jump in, we'll just do a brief intro about myself as well as our speaker, and we could dive into the materials. So my name is Nicole Cobham. I'm a member of South Queens Women's March. I'm a senior associate at KPMG and the vice president of finance of Delta Sigma Pi's New York Alumni Chapter. So if Ayoola, you want to give a brief little introduction about yourself, that'd be great.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ayoola. I am the founder of OGF LLC. Basically, we're here to teach financial literacy to individuals, families, and companies, and to make a world a better place, and also to educate individuals to build generational wealth.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ayoola. So if we can begin if you want to start sharing your screen. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to use the chat box, but we'll address the end of the presentation to address any questions.
All right. Thank you, Nicole. Bear with me, guys. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep, we can.
Okay.
Yes.
So first, I want to say thank you to the South Queens Women's March for this opportunity. Thank you guys for having me here. I really do appreciate it. So does the members of my team as well. So let's jump right into it. So this is the agenda for the day. We're gonna talk about credit. What exactly is credit, the different kind of credits that's out there. And then we're also gonna give you some tips and tricks to actually be able to check your credit and be able to remove a lot of errors that's on your credit score. Next on the agenda, we will talk about stocks. So we're actually gonna walk through a live example, tips and tricks that we used and we share with our client to actually analyze and actually look at stocks and to see which one best fits their portfolio. After that, we're going to go through the different types of budgeting models and then saving tricks and tips that we've learned through personal experiences, and we've also given to our clients and have used in our lifetime as well. So let's get right into it. So first, what is credit, right? Let me share my screen to a full screen, everything. All right, so what exactly is credit, right? Credit is when a organization. Again, I know some people here already know what credit is. This is just to educate some individuals that might be in high school and are trying to learn more about financial literacy and so forth. So this is the purpose, to educate everybody that's currently listening and that might not know what credit is. So credit is when is basically a trust that a lender provides you money, resources, and lends it to you and promise that you will repay them at a later time. There's different kind of credits. So I broke it down on the right-hand side. As you can see, there's 3 types of credit. You have installment credit, revolving credit, and open credit. Installment credit actually covers the majority of the credit that we know, which is car loans, mortgage loans, personal loans. Some credit cards do fall under installment credit, and most important, student loans. And during this presentation, I just want to say I will talk a little bit about my client that I've helped to give you guys examples. Revolving credit, again, there are some credit cards that do have revolving credit and home equity line of credit. So home and equity line of credit is actually for individuals who are homeowners. And basically what that means is you are able to take out money against your house. So money that you have paid. So for example, I'm just going to give an example for individuals out there. If you own a house that you paid $200,000 for, and you was able to pay $20,000 of that house, that's equity. That's equity. That means that $20,000 that means you own 20% of that, well, $20,000 of that house. So you can take out a HELOC, and actually what that means, you can actually go into that 20,000, you can use it for repairs and so forth. And that's why being a homeowner is another perk. That's why a lot of people, that's why a lot of individuals say becoming a homeowner can lead to generational wealth. Open credit, gas, electric, water, apartment, home, phone, Wi-Fi. So I'm going to leave this for the end. Somebody please ask me a question on how you can actually get these reported on your credit score. So on your credit report. So a lot of these companies, gas, electric, water, phone, Wi-Fi, these companies have to pay a fee to the credit agencies to actually report you paying your bill on time. But there are some apps and stuff that you can use to help you report those things, and it can actually help boost your credit. And we'll talk about that later on, but somebody can ask me a question about it. The next slide, as you can see, here are some credit statistics. Approximately 7 million Americans have bad credit, and 79% of all credit reports contain errors. And majority of the reason why it contains errors is because nobody bothers to look at their credit report. You're actually required by law to obtain your credit report for free 1 time a year. And a lot of individuals don't know this. 25% of those errors may cause consumer to be denied of credit, which is these errors that's not even true. Again, I'm not going to go on to all these statistics. You guys can look at it, but I could also share a few examples. So when the first time I actually got my credit report, I have a complicated name, and I had different variations of my name. I had loans, car loans, and mortgages that are inaccurate. I currently paid off my student loans, but my student loans still showed as open on my credit report. And it was affecting me getting certain loans and closing certain deals. So it's very, very crucial for you to know exactly what's on your credit report, at least once a year, to know exactly what's on it and make sure that the information is accurate. So the one thing you should know about these credit bureaus is that they all are for profit. So the picture on the right-hand side lists the 3 credit unions: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. These individuals, they collect information and sell it to creditors. So whenever somebody pulls your credit report, they get it from these three institutions. Another thing is that they don't want individuals checking their credit report, because the less the I'm trying to rephrase this, the lower your credit score is, the more they can charge the person who's asking to see your credit score. So if you have a higher credit score, they charge the creditors less. So that's the catch. And another thing that they do is that they penalize you. They take 1, 2, 3 points for you checking your credit score, because again, they don't want you seeing that report. But what people tend to do is just see their credit score and be like, oh, I'm okay, I'm fine. But they don't actually check their report and see what's actually on it. So please keep that in mind and know that these companies are for profit and they only care about them making money. So now let's talk about the credit repair process. A lot of individuals, so this is tips and tricks. If you currently have a child and you want to help them raise credit, one thing I would recommend for you to do is to open up a credit card for your son or daughter and use the credit card and pay it off. And then when they're 18, when they're going off to college, give them and tell them, hey, I've helped boost your credit. And now they have some type of credit to leverage and to be able to get a car loan or whatever, a mortgage or whatever it has to be. The hardest thing that I've seen in a lot of minorities, and not only minorities, but in a lot of other families, is that the parents doesn't use the time or help develop their kids' credit score. And that is huge. That's one little thing you guys can do to help them. So here is the credit repair process. First, request your credit report from all the 3 bureaus. I know some people use Credit Karma. Credit Karma actually pulls the report from 2 credit agencies. So if you get Credit Karma and you see any of your information is incorrect, you can actually dispute it, and they would relate the information back to the 2 credit agencies. The third one, you will have to do it by yourself. Second thing you want to do after you get your credit report, review it, know all the inaccurate information, and please note that each report may be different. Third, challenge any disputes and all the inaccurate information. And then C, design a plan to actually eliminate debt, because the whole point of you going through this credit repair process is to boost your credit. You want to boost your credit to eventually accomplish a goal. And what we do here at OGF LLC is that we help you devise a plan to achieve that goal, which is pay for a loan or whatever it is, save for a house, pay off your student loans, learn how to invest more. I just had a kid. What should I do? Should I get life insurance for them? Should I get the 529 plan? We give you tips and tricks that we've learned and actually educate. Yep. And actually educate you on the process for you to make the right decision for you and your family. So if you guys don't take anything away from this presentation, I think please take a screenshot or write or copy this link. So this is the link where you can obtain your free credit report. Again, it's free. You can request a digital or a physical copy. I do both. And it will just come in the mail in 5 to 7 business days. And basically, it will help you, it will guide you through the process. It's easy. And for all 3 credit agencies, you'll be able to obtain your report and see what's actually on them. If you used up your free credit report for the year, I would recommend using a credit monitoring tool services. You can either go to them or you can use, there's a bunch out there. I know some people try to go to the source. I know Experian is doing some big stuff where they're doing Experian Boost and so forth, but they also can help you dispute inaccurate information from the other two credit agencies. So once you get that credit report, now what to do, right? Once you get it, first look for misspelled names. Like I said, I had some misspelled information. My name was incorrect. Look for inaccurate accounts. And then look for fraudulent accounts. This is another way for you to see if somebody's using your social security number, right? This is another thing. This is another way for you to protect yourself to see if your social security number is actually safe. And I believe at least once a year it's feasible for everybody to check their credit score to actually see exactly what's going on, especially to see the fraudulent charges or accounts and then to stop them right away. Of course, look for outdated information, incorrect dates, and so forth. After that, write a dispute letter. So this is where a bunch of the clients kind of deter from the credit repair process. Oh, I have to write a letter to them. I can't write an email. But again, you write a letter once and it's done. Sometimes they might ask for you to clarify. They might send a letter again, but they're actually required by the Fair Credit Reporting Act to respond to you within 30 days. So this is an example. And one thing I would recommend is for you to put that at the bottom as well, as you can see here in this letter template. They're literally obligated by law to respond to you. And basically you will list your accounts, list all the stuff that's wrong. You will attach the report itself, highlight which ones are wrong, which ones are right. And then dispute the charges, and they will get back to you within 30 days. So this is the process. Again, please take note of that website where you can get your free report from all three credit agencies. Now we're gonna move on to stocks. So stock 101. Stock is one of the, if it's not number one, it's probably number two most important ways to build generational wealth for you and for your family. So questions before even going to stocks investment, right? You have to ask yourself, where do you see the future heading? Because once you know where the future is heading, you know the companies and technologies and so forth that might lead to a greater capital gain. So for example, we're leaning towards technology as a whole. So yes, it's wise to invest in technology companies, but you also want to diversify your assets. So for example, right, if you just invest all in real estate and then we have the real estate crash like we did in 2008, all your stocks might go to dust. But if you have other stocks, right, in different industries to kind of help you out, that will help your portfolio and make sure that you're not struggling and all your portfolio is not going down. So that's why it's important to diversify your assets when you are investing. And also, what is your goal, right? Do you want immediate capital gains, or is it for future retirement, whatever it might be? So I can give you guys two scenarios. I have an individual who just cares about money, whereas like he wants the stock to increase over time, and then he wants to sell it and get money for himself. I have individuals who wants the money to grow and want their portfolio to grow. And then I also have individuals who only care about dividends. So what is dividends, for example? So dividends is, I'm gonna give you guys, if you buy a stock, a McDonald's stock, right? Let's say it's $30. They give money back to the stockholders on a yearly basis, let's just say is $1. That dollar is what's called dividends. You have to pay taxes on those, right? But some people aim for just dividends alone. There are some stocks out there in which you can buy. They're really, really cheap, and you can get dividends at a high rate. So let's just say there's a stock that costs $10, and you're getting $1, $1 per stock, and then you have $100,000 to invest, and then you invest $100,000. Now you're getting $10,000 in dividends. So in a year, you're getting $10,000 of cash. Of course, you have to pay 20 to 25, 20 to 25% of taxes to that, and also depends on your salary as well. But these are different tools people use to figure out which goal is right for them. And here at OGF LLC, we guide you, we try to figure out which goal is best suited for you and your family, and which one is best suited for you. Also, which industries interest you, right? Another thing is that you don't want to invest in an industry you do not know nothing about. So be careful. Instead of, this stock is really doing well, is really doing good. And do your research on the company, on the CEO, see how they've been performing, look at their financials, and so forth. So now we're going to walk through a live example, right? This is one thing I like to do. So these are the 3 sites that I basically use. So I use Yahoo Finance, MarketWatch, and NASDAQ. So for the Yahoo Finance, I use it to identify my industries. So for example, oil and gas, right? It lists within Yahoo Finance, you can find all the companies that are listed there. It will tell you all the companies that's under the oil and gas industry. And then you can also use Yahoo Finance to get information about the company. I personally prefer MarketWatch. So I'm going to walk through a live example. Bear with me. So I'm going to use a company that we all know, which is Amazon, right? So an overview of Amazon. Amazon is really, really doing well. Before even investing in a stock, first do research on a company, right? Even if you know the company, do research on it. Do research on the CEO. Understand their business, understand their model, understand exactly how they make money, so you can understand what exactly will affect their money, affect their revenue if the economy goes down or something happens to them. So it's crucial for you to do research on a company. If the financial goes down, it might have a huge effect on their stock market. On their stock price. So one thing that I like to do is, like I said, first do research, and then 2, look at financials. So one, I like this site easier, and I actually was given. I want to shout out Steven because he's on this call, one of my friends, and because I used to be a big fan of Yahoo Finance, I just like MarketWatch better. And within MarketWatch, you are able to see basically the numbers in easy formats for you. So here, for example, you can see the sales growth. The sales growth is consistent. Every year they're going up at least 20 to 25%. That's what you want to look for in a company, right? A company that's constantly growing. I would recommend for you to go for at least 10%. If you want to be conservative, I would go for 15. If you want to be a little bit more riskier, I would go for 5. So it all depends on your risk tolerance. The other thing I would tell you to do is to look at the net income, right? So we looked at sales growth, right? But they can also have operating expenses, right? They have expenses, they take out loans, it's stuff that they have to pay for. So in total, how much cash do they actually have? And is that going up on a yearly basis and so forth? And as you can see here, they're doing a phenomenal job. Even through COVID, they're doing a great job, and the numbers are increasing. So this would be a great buy. This would be a great investment. Another thing you can do, where a lot of individuals do, is they use the experts on specific apps. So I know Yahoo Finance have, let me see, for example, this thing's blocking, apologize. Trying to move this up. Can't even see what I'm, bear with me. Yahoo Finance. Okay. So here, this is Amazon. As you can see here in Yahoo Finance, you have experts, right? And experts, basically, they can recommend to you exactly what's going on. They will tell you if this is a strong buy, when to hold, when it's underperforming, and when you should sell the stock. Some services, like I know that TD Ameritrade and Robinhood, they charge a higher price for you to get their expert opinion. But sometimes this is crucial. Sometimes, especially when you're not sure about a stock, it's sometimes nice to get an expert opinion on exactly where you should go. So this is another tool. I know here in, let me see something. I believe it is analysis estimate. So here, as you can see, analysis rating, different analysis rate on where you should go. You should buy, hold, sell, and this can help you. So this is basically free information that experts out there. A lot of these people are credited, so please use it to your advantage. Another thing some individuals are curious about is dividends. So like, for example, Amazon does not offer dividends. And a site that I use is NASDAQ, for example, and you can type in Amazon, or and it will tell you that there's no dividends history. But if you go to a company like McDonald's and so forth, it will tell you they pay $5 annually on dividends. So imagine if you bought McDonald's for $10, right? In 2 years, you would have made back the stock. And that is why dividends is crucial to some people. And as you can see here, they paid it on a quarterly basis. So that's it right now for stocks. If you guys have any questions, please ask. We're gonna move to our last topic, which is budgeting savings. So here is a budgeting model. There's different kind of budgeting models out there, but this is the one we use the most at OGF LLC. We cater it to our individuals, our clients. As you can see here, depending on where you are in life, you can use these budgeting strategies. You know, if either you're single, you're a couple, you have a family, so forth. We recommend that, especially if you have a business or if you have kids, we recommend for you to spend 50% of you and your partner's living expenses together. And for some people, right, if you want to create generational wealth for your family, for your future kids, for your family, immediate family, so forth, it's going to take a lot of initial investment. So we recommend 30%. Again, majority of this can be pre-tax, right? Because you have 401k, you have IRA, all of those can be pre-tax, right? And then we also recommend for our clients who have a savings, a CD, and an emergency. We like to separate the emergency from savings account because you don't know what could ever happen in life, right? You don't know, and it's good to prepare for it. And of course, have 10% for kids, 10% for religion, if you are religious, or for charity. And then this is basically the same if you're an individual and you're by yourself. It's the same. If you could survive all 50%, this is great. Then in that case, you can put an extra 10% to, you know, charity, your business, whatever it might be, or to passive investing. So this right here, this next slide, we did like a little budget breakdown, right? We recommended, like I said, we always recommend an emergency fund, but we did a breakdown of you just putting $700 a month, where you can save $2,400 a year for emergencies, you know, 2,600, 640 for savings, and then 3,360 for your business, religion, whatever you want that to be. This is a saving breakdown that we have for one of our clients. And on the right-hand side, this is her information. I've asked her and she gave me the pass to share it. So basically what we do is we analyze her income and her expenses, and we do a whole breakdown of exactly everything that she's spending, the rent that she pays, Netflix, Uber Eats. We go through your, if you want us to, you know, a lot of people don't feel comfortable, but if you want us to go through your credit card, your debit account, and you want us to analyze it and see certain trends for the past 6 months, for the past year, to see exactly what you've been doing. For her, she spent a lot of Ubers because she's always late to miss her a bus. And she was spending an extra $200 a month just on Ubers. This year, she was our client last year, but she was able to, and last year alone, she was able to pay off 3 of her loans, which was amazing. And we helped her. So what we do is that we create a plan. So we analyze your income and your budgeting for you. And then we don't stop there. We create a plan catered to your needs to accomplish whatever goal you have, which is you want to buy a home, you want to save for a house, you want to pay off your student loans. We create a timeline for you and tell you, hey, if you are able to save an extra $50, extra $40, extra, you know, $100, you'll be able to pay this off in a year, in 2 years, and so forth. So for her, what we did is that we took advantage of her not paying student loans right now, because a lot of student loans are on hold, payments are on hold. So we use that money that she would be paying to pay off majority of her credit cards. And then after she was done paying off that credit card, we used the money she would have been paying to pay the first credit card now on the second credit card. So now she has 3 different payments on one credit card. And then we did that for so on and so on until we paid the third one. And now she's using all that money towards her student loans now. And then she has the availability to tackle her student loans with more income. And that's what we was able to provide for her. But I just thought it would be nice to show you guys a picture. So now we're going to leave you guys with some tips on ways to save. So I honestly recommend online banks. The reason why I recommend online banks is that they have no fees. And the reason why I recommend online banks to all my clients is because these companies are for profit. They do not care about you, your finances, what you're going through. And for me personally, I do not think it makes sense for a bank in which I'm putting my money in would give me restrictions on how exactly I should spend my money. Now, again, everybody's different. Everybody loves a specific bank and so forth. So I have an online bank, and the difference between an online bank and a physical bank like Chase and so forth is that they don't have the cost, right? They don't have that cost of building buildings and paying a monthly rent. They don't have that cost. So they have more flexibility and more options for their customers. I know a lot of banks like Chase, TD, Citi, all of them say for a debit account, you need at least $300 down, or you need a recurring check being deposited on a monthly basis. With an online account, the minimum is zero for savings and checkings. And then the best part with the ATM fees, where I was saying is they have an app in which you can go on the app and you can search around you which ATMs are out there, right? And which ATMs are around you, and it would tell you which ATMs you can use. And they will not charge you a fee because it's free, because they don't have ATMs. So it gives you the flexibility to choose which, to go wherever you want and don't have to drive 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Now I got to go to Bank of America. Now I have to go to TD. It gives you that flexibility to, go to ATM down the street and just take out money. And that's what I love about online banks. Another thing that I love about online banks. So here's a picture of the top digital banks. Marcus by Goldman Sachs is right now by far the best when it comes to interest rate. I have Discover. And the reason why I'm loyal to Discover is because when I was in college, they was the only one that offered me a credit card. My parents didn't help build my credit. So it was really, really hard for me to get a credit card with these institutions like Bank of America, Chase, because I didn't have no credit. So Discover was the only card or only company that was willing to accept me. And because of that, I've been loyal to them. And as you can see, the other reason why I'm not loyal to these banks like Chase and Citi. But here are just some banks out there. But here's the huge difference, right? If you're that person, you're conservative and you don't want to invest your money and you want your money to sit in a bank account, right? Look at this. Look at Chase, right? Look at Chase. You're getting, if you was to put $5,000 in your savings account for the whole year, you get 50 cents. Citibank, you get $2. Bank of America, you get 50 cents. With Discover, you get $20. So for me, it was a no-brainer. Even though $20, is not that much, but I know it's better than 50 cents, right? So this is why I decided to go this route. And I always recommend my clients, if you're more on the conservative and you don't want to invest and you just want to keep all your money in the savings, you go to a company that's going to pay you and give you some interest at least, right? And so you can benefit from it. Another ways to save is look for credit cards. So there's different kind of credit cards out there. I believe everybody should get a credit card that's catered to their needs, right? So for example, I had a cashback credit card and I realized, man, this is not that great. What I end up doing is just buying more stuff on Amazon. So for me, I got a travel rewards card. I want to travel and it's motivating me and it also gives me points. So it gives me points towards hotels, flights, airlines, and so forth. And then the best part about travel reward cards, which a lot of people don't know, which I used to struggle with, is that if you are international, a lot of travel rewards card don't charge you a fee for using it international. But if I was to use a cash back card, I get charged a fee. Right. So for me, it was a huge difference where it was like, you know what, why am I even focusing on this cash back when I can benefit from traveling? I want to travel, I want to experience it and so forth. So I always recommend for people to do their homework, figure out what type of credit card you want. Just don't take any type of credit card. And if you did, well, I also have good news for you. So if you're with one of the top banks right now, what you can do is switch your credit card. So for example, if I had a cash back credit card and I called Bank of America and I was like, hey, I want to switch my credit card from a cashback to a travel rewards card, and they just switched my credit card. They didn't have to check my credit. They didn't have to do another application. It's literally like a 1 week process. They review it and then just switch your credit card. So that's one thing you should look for. Again, this is a list of different types of credit cards that's out there and so forth. If you guys have questions, you guys can ask. The last way to save that's really helped me is buying in bulk and also family plans. One thing I've realized is that the institution here in the United States benefit families. So I'm gonna give you guys an example. So Spotify, and a lot of things before I go on. One thing I've noticed is that a lot of individuals, especially young adults, we want to be so independent and we want to pay, things ourselves that, it's sometimes put as a debt, So I'm gonna give you guys an easy example, right? Spotify or Apple Music, they're both the same price. They were like $15. It's $16 with taxes. So if you have an individual account, it's $10 per month, which is $120 for the whole year, right? But if you get a family plan, it's $15 a month. And with the family plan, you get 6 individuals. You can get 6 individuals to join your family. Now, again, I'm not saying for you to get any random 6 people, right? Because I haven't done that. But, I would recommend for you to, if it's your close family and you want to get 6 people, you get a family plan. And at the beginning of the month, of the year, you all pay $35. That $35 covers your Apple Music for the whole year. So 6 people pay $35. That covers your Apple Music for the whole year, your Spotify for the whole year. And you guys put that money on a reloadable credit card, do it every year, and you're literally saving $80+ on a yearly. That's another way to save money. Same thing with phone services. With phone services, you can, I know that I wanted to be independent and I have a Verizon. I was paying $80 per month. And then I realized the more people you add, the less your bill is. So I told my whole family just to come on over. Like, I wanted to save money. I was like, come on over, I'll manage it. And the more people I added, my bill went down from $10. And then I added 4 people. Now my bill is $40. And I have unlimited text, unlimited call, and I have international texting too, all for $40. And I also get Disney Plus free. So it's a way to start thinking. Like, I know a lot of people want to be independent, but start thinking if you can use, family as a tool and as a benefit, to help you save money. Other things here is to buy in bulk. One thing that we do in my family is that we have a deep freezer. I'm African, and we just buy a bunch of meats from poultry or, and just dump it in there and just stock up. Rice is a great example. I have a friend who literally loves rice, and he will go to Walmart and buy rice for $10. And it's never enough. And he comes back 3 or 4 weeks later. And then I told him about this Jamaican market where you could buy a 50-pound box of rice. And to this day, he bought it mid last year. To this day, that rice is still not done. And it's cost him $35. So start thinking in a bulky way. Now, again, this is if you have space. I know some people worry about space and so forth. So today, I just want to quickly go over what we talked about, right? So we talked about credit, exactly how to go about it, the site you should use to rectify or to actually get your reports for your annual credit for free. If you haven't, please take a note of this website. You're actually required by law to obtain your credit report. And then we went on to stocks, and then we went through a live example on how to actually analyze stocks and look for stuff to look for, right? When you're trying to analyze stock, do your research, look at the financials, make sure they're over 10% or more. And then depending on your risk appetite, create your own percentage. And then we talked about budgeting and savings, right? Different type of budgeting that's out there, what we do here at OGF, and then also ways to save and tips and tricks that we have shared that we currently use, and we also share with our clients as well. Now I'm gonna open up the floor and give it back to Nicole.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ayoola, for sharing this information with us. I think that was extremely helpful. So we have a few minutes left before the end of the call. So if anyone has any questions, I know we have a few that were sent earlier in the meeting, so I'll address those, but feel free to utilize the chat. And I know that Aminta or Nirmala is checking the Facebook Live as well. So our first question we have here, at what age can parents take out the credit cards for their children? So do you have kind of a recommended age that they can begin at?
I would recommend high school. So as soon as they're 14, I would recommend doing it. I know some people who've done it earlier. It all totally depends. Some institutions might have restrictions on the age, but mostly a lot of times they do not. They do not have any restrictions. So I have one person who just literally used their kid's credit card to pay for Spotify, right? And they pay it off on a monthly basis. That's literally all they does. That alone builds their credit, and that's huge.
Awesome, fair point. We have another question. Are you able to have your dividends go into your Roth IRA so that it's non-taxable?
Ooh, that's a good one. So no. The short answer is no. But what you can do is that if you do reinvest the stock, you get taxed on it less. So I believe it goes down to about 3 to 5%, depending on because now it's not capital gains, now you're investing in it again. But they will still tax you on that, and you will get a statement at the end of the year. But unfortunately, you will have to pay taxes on it because you're literally taking that money, right? You're taking it cash, and then you're putting it in your Roth.
Right. Do you have any methods or suggestions on how someone could raise their credit score?
Yes. So the first thing is use Experian Boost. So I'm not sure if it's Experian Boost. It's the one you don't have to pay a fee for. A lot of these sites now are allowing individuals to create an account, and then you will attach your bank statement or your credit card. And basically what it does is that it reads your bank account and your statement and see the bills you're paying on a monthly basis. So then it will account for your light bill, the phone bill you're paying, and all this other stuff that these light companies and or even rent that they don't want to report. So all these things will end up showing on your credit report and help boost your credit. Another thing is, again, the credit repair, right, process. So first, look at your credit, see exactly what's wrong, remove all those things first, and then create that account. I believe that Credit Karma might have that capability as well. And I think with Credit Karma, you have to pay a fee. So use that, and also create a plan for you to reach your goal, right? Create a plan for you because you're going to use the credit for something, right? Create a plan for yourself to achieve your goal wherever you want to get to.
So, as you know, as we're talking about creating our goals, in regards to like saving and investing, is there kind of like a suggested, baseline where you should at least start saving, when you're out of college or, getting a ground fee? Because, sometimes it's kind of hard to decide, how much I should contribute to saving, contribute to investing, kind of how they got journey that.
Okay, can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so kind of how being able to decide how much you should contribute towards investing versus saving.
Yep.
Any guidance for that?
So I think that depends on a person's financial status, right? And exactly how much you can afford, right? If 80% of your money is going to bills, right, is a limited amount that you can actually use to invest and save. So one thing we can do at OGF is that we will analyze it. Again, everybody's different. The person, one of my clients that I gave an example of, she was, I believe, 40% of her income, was it 40? No, I'm sorry, 60% of her income was actually bills. So she had more wiggle room. So I think if you're within that range, I would say for you to put 15 to 20% to be safe. If you have more wiggle room and you don't really spend money on yourself for personal care and so forth, I would say go to 30, go to 35 and so forth. But one thing we also do is we offer a free consultation for 30 minutes at ogfllc.com. And we can actually help you see or create a plan for you that's catered to you, your family, or your other half, whoever it may be.
And as you know, we're talking about, figuring out how you want to contribute. What about your 401k? Especially as people are starting out, should you max it, while we're still just, don't have as many bills if you don't have a mortgage or whatnot, or just you recommend starting at a certain percent? Any guidance on that as well?
Yep. So I think the rule of thumb is, well, first of all, it depends on the individual. Again, it depends on how much they're making. And everybody's different. Some people want to save for a 401k, but they also want to buy a house, right? It depends. So, but what I would recommend is if you are not a risk taker at all, and your company matches, I would recommend you to put the same amount that they're matching. If you are not a risk taker, if you want to be conservative, you don't want to go higher, basically what that means is if you lose money, you still have your money because they're matching that 6%, right? That's basically what that means. If you're, more of a risk taker, right, I would recommend for you to put more, no more than 10%. I know some people want to go higher. It depends on how much you want to do, but again, it depends on your goals. I have a client who does 20%, and then another 20% to Roth IRA, right? But Roth, there's a max, there's a cap per year. So please keep that in mind as well.
Good point. I have another question from Steven. It says, what's vested versus non-vested? If you can give more context on that.
Yeah, can you give more context?
Oh, within your 401k.
Okay. Was vested and was not vested. So in 401k terms, vested means that you actually have, how can I put it? I'm trying to find the right terms for it. I'm going blank right now. Bear with me.
If anything, we can always
come back.
like what comes out of your
to the question.
paycheck. Yeah, we can always provide more context on that, Stephen. But yeah, does anyone have any additional questions for Ayoola before we have a few minutes left?
So wait, I'm back. I'm sorry.
No worries.
I'm sorry, Stephen. And Stephen's actually one of my friends. So what it means to be vested in in the 401k, it means that you're actually secured, right? It means that you're securing the position to actually have the money. So some companies, like, that's why I was kind of confused, but me and him had a conversation. I know what exactly he meant. So some companies, right, like Protiviti, like the company I work for, and that's why I was asking him to clarify. Um, if you have, now I understand why he asked that question. If you, if they're putting, if they're matching your 401k, so let's say they match 4% and you put another 4% down. What that means is that 4% could be vested or not vested. Vested means that they require you to work a certain amount of years for you to be vested. What that means is that you need to work a certain amount of years until that money is yours. So if you leave, let's say the vested years is 3 years. If you leave earlier than 3 years, you will not be vested. That means you won't be able to keep the money that the company put in. Your money you can always keep because it's your money. But the other money that the company is matching, you will not be able to keep that. And that is what vested means. The reason why I was getting confused is that I was thinking long term. I was like vested, and I'm also starting a corporation. I'm starting a business, so it was a lot of things going on in my head. So I apologize for that, Stephen.
Thank you for that. Yeah, we have 2 minutes left. I know we had a mention from Janelle in regards to more investing. Okay, so we have another question. So what if your company doesn't offer a 401k, but you want to start your own? Would you have a cap regardless of how much you want to put in early?
A cap. I would say, again, we can talk more about this one-on-one if you sign up for a consultation, because we need to see exactly what exactly is your spending habits, what is your bills exactly, because we need to know exactly, what exactly is your situation, right? How much can you invest to put in? And the answer to that is yes, you actually can. So you can go to different, I personally like Fidelity. So you can go to Fidelity and you can actually tell them, hey, I would like to put some of my 401k to you guys and so forth. And they will work with your company to make that happen. And again, it might take a while if your company does not offer it, but if you decide to go through them, trust me, it'll be good. Now, if your company is strict and they said, oh, we won't be able to do anything that's pre-tax, with Fidelity, you can still do a Roth, right? And which is after taxes. So it would depend on the company. If the company is willing to accept Fidelity and say, all right, we're not offering it, but we're willing, if you're willing to pay for it, we will be able to do everything pre-tax. Mm-hmm. And then after taxes will be Roth if you decide to go there.
Well, thank you guys. We are at 7:30. Appreciate you taking the time out to join us this evening, Ayoola, as well as thanking everyone for joining us. I know we had some other questions in regards to investing. If that's something, an area that more people are interested in, we're more than happy to have another workshop on that and talk about that more in depth. But I could pass off to Nirmala if there's any housekeeping items before we wrap up.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Ayoola, and thank you, Nicole. I feel like this was very informative and folks definitely learned a lot. I know I did, from learning how to request a credit report to dividends in stock and simple ways to save. So thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. I did want to flag that the video will be up on YouTube. So if folks want to reference it, or maybe if you missed something that you're interested in reviewing, it'll be up on our YouTube channel. And yeah, we saw some suggestions for potential topics for the rest of this month. So if you are interested in some other things that we could lead workshops on, please feel free to send it to us as well. And we'll do our best to create those spaces for everyone. But thank you all so much for joining us, and take care and be safe, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.